Casnell Cash White, whose late brother, Sergeant First Class Alan C. Cash, was deployed to Iraq, where he made the ultimate sacrifice on November 8, 2005.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me say I am not a public speaker. I am a nurse by trade, so bear with me. I've sat here and I've heard everyone speak. It's emotional, to say the least. But a lot of it I already knew, but I was glad that someone put it into words. I came here on a very selfish mission. For that, let me apologize to tell you about my brother. He is known to the U.S. Army as Sergeant First Class Alan C. Cash. To me, he's just Al. He is, and if I go from is to was, please forgive me, okay? He is the last of 9 children born to my parents, Ruby Mae and Andrew James Cash. He's the baby. He was the last born. He was the first of all of us to die. Al was born July 13th, 1970. He left this world on November the 8th, 2005, after succumbing to wounds that he received in Samaria, Iraq. I am more blessed than many that have lost someone in Iraq. My brother was injured October 17, 2005. He was flown from Iraq after emergency surgery in the field to Germany. After having surgery in Germany, he was flown to BAMSI, that's Brooke Army Medical Center in Texas. I had the pleasure of joining him there with my mom and his wife. Those were the worst but the best 3 weeks of my life. I got to hold him, touch him. I'm sorry. But unfortunately, I got to watch the men that he saved die. He was commanding a Bradley that struck an IED and it imploded. And my brother was thrown clear. But being the soldier that he was, and God knows he was a soldier because the Army was so good for him, that was the best thing that ever happened to him, being enlisted in the Army. It turned a very rambunctious, wild child into a soldier. It was good for him. He was a drill sergeant, he did paratrooping, he just exposed himself to so much. He was a small boy from the project that made good. The projects of Seminole County, we are Florida grown. One day I'll be Florida dead because I don't think I'll ever leave Florida. But after his Bradley hit the IED, the door, the hatch, and maybe I'm using civilian terms, so those of you that are military, please don't think I'm disrespecting you. I just do it my way. The hatch was fused closed, but he got it open. He was burned over 85% of his body, but because of his sacrifice, all of his men, including the interpreter, cleared that Bradley. Unfortunately, his Iranian interpreter died at the scene. And let me read their names because I want you to remember these guys. Staff Sergeant George Alexander from Killeen, Texas. Sergeant Michael Robeson from Houston, Texas. And Specialist Darren Howe from Patrice, Nebraska. They were all flown with my brother to BAMSI. He had always said, and because Mel Brooks did not coin this phrase, he would leave no soldier behind. All of his guys either preceded him in death, and those 3 died, or, like the other 3, Gary Dodge, Michael Mills, and Sergeant Solano. Unfortunately, Solano died 2 years later because of the burns that he sustained that day. My brother was awarded posthumously the Purple Heart, the Silver Star, and the Bronze Star. That's all that my mother has left of her last child. She does not let those out of her sight, or I would have brought them today to show you, but she won't let them go. I'm asking your support because he was a soldier, and I know he's mad at me, but I'll deal with that when I get to heaven and I see him again, okay? He's mad because I started a campaign to get him the Congressional Medal of Honor. He meets the criteria. I was told that an awards division person has to review his records. I'm told that's being done. And although I love the Army and what he stood for, it's 2014, and that has not been done yet. I feel that's a little slow. That's the only thing negative I will say about the Army or the men and women that serve there. I won't take anything from another soldier. I am so proud every day when I see soldiers come home. When I was at Brooke Army, I saw kids, and I say kids because I'm looking at some of you and they were younger than you are. They were scarred physically. They were amputees. They were burned, mentally scarred. These are America's children. When I read reports of what the VA has done in delaying these people's treatment, it breaks my heart. It's not right. Please call your congressmen, your mayors, your county commissioners, your cities, and make the VA get off its behind and treat our soldiers. They deserve that. Don't let them fool you. I used to work for the VA. I was standing at the VA on 9/11 when the towers came down. They mobilized us very fast. Unfortunately, we did not have to make the trip to New York because, as you know, there was no one to care for. But there are people coming home every day that need care. If you don't join me, that's okay. Because if God keeps breath in my body before I die, from this earth, I'll see him get that honor. But I want each and every one of you just to contact one other person and say, look, my brother Carlos is also a vet. It took him 18 months to get a cardiology appointment. Cardiology, that's your heart. That's the most vital organ in your body. Because they said they were overbooked. Look at the people around you. You have veterans standing on the street corner with signs. These people are not joking. They will work for food. They do need help. So don't you let an elected person fool you. Make them commit to serving our veterans. And if you'll do that for me, everything else will be all right. Thank you.